Appreciate that. I want to bring in now Congressman Eric Swalwell. He is a Democrat who serves on the Intelligence Committee. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's so good to have you on tonight. I mean, this is unbelievable. I want to read part of General Flynn's statement, and then I'm going to get your response. So General Flynn, this is through his attorneys tonight, saying General Flynn certainly has a story to tell, and he very much wants to tell it, should the circumstances permit. No reasonable person who has benefit of advice from counsel would submit to questioning in such a highly politicized witch hunt environment without assurances against unfair prosecution. What's your reaction to that?
Sounds like a guy that wants immunity, and generally innocent people don't seek immunity. I don't want to hear from him in a setting where there are conditions. I think we should hear from him in the public, and that we should get to the bottom of just exactly why was he working with Russia Today, who, as a former Defense Intelligence Agency director, he of all people knows that that agency is connected to Russia's intelligence services. And so to take money from them and then to work with the Russian ambassador after sanctions are put on Russia and to lie to the vice president, you know, that's powerful evidence that he knew what was going on, and this was converging at the time of Russia's interference campaign.
So let's talk about Nunes. You're on the Intelligence Committee with him. A spokesman for the chairman told CNN earlier that no, Michael Flynn has not offered to testify to HPSCI in exchange for immunity. But who would make that decision? Who makes the decision whether he's going to receive immunity or not?
Well, ideally, we work together as far as witness testimony, and this is not anything that I or I believe my colleagues are familiar with. And so we want to hear from Michael Flynn. We want to hear from Paul Manafort and Carter Page and Roger Stone. But I think, Don, it's time for Chairman Nunes to step aside from this investigation. We want it to be independent, credible, and make progress. And right now, it's not doing that.
Do you think he's going to stay on?
I think if he cares about us getting to the bottom of what happened, and if Speaker Ryan, who it's ultimately his call, wants us to be credible and independent, hopefully by next week he steps aside.
And you're going to...
I continue to call for that.
You're continuing to call for that.
Because we need to keep going forward on that.
Are there other members in the intelligence, or at least on the committee, I should ask, who are calling for that?
I believe most of the Democrats have. A Republican in the House has also made a call for this.
Okay. I want to ask you about this New York Times reporting. Two White House officials helped Devin Nunes view the secret reports. In your mind, is that a cover-up?
It looks like a cover-up. And Don, when I say that, I don't say it lightly, but when I was a prosecutor, I'd tell juries, you know, take all of the facts and look at them like it's a bundle of sticks. Each stick is a fact, and you can pull one out and bend and apply pressure, and maybe there's an innocent explanation. Maybe there's an innocent explanation for why Michael Flynn talked to the Russian ambassador and then lied to the vice president about it. Maybe he forgot. Maybe there's an innocent explanation for why Jeff Sessions misled the Senate about his prior contacts with the Russian ambassador. Maybe he's being careless. Maybe there's an innocent explanation for why Jared Kushner didn't reveal that he was talking to a sanctioned Russian bank. I mean, there's so many of these now. Maybe there's an innocent explanation for why Devin Nunes went over to the White House. But when you bundle those facts together, this is becoming unbreakable evidence that there is a consciousness of guilt going on around all of the players involved with deep Russia ties.
Yeah, I know that you don't want to speculate here, but the question is, so what's at the bottom of this?
Well, there were deep personal, political, and financial ties that Donald Trump and his team had with Russia. And what it looks like right now, and this is what we have to investigate, is was that converging with Russia's interference campaign? If these are just, you know, business ties, because he was a businessman, and these are 1,000 coincidences, then we should know that too. But right now, it looks a lot like there was collusion.
So what I hear from the Trump side is, and to be fair, it's been 8 months that they've investigated and found nothing. That at least that we know from Director Comey.
And as Director Comey said in his testimony, 8 months is very early into an investigation like this. Especially, you know, people make the comparison to Watergate. This is nothing like Watergate for a lot of reasons, but this is an international crime that took place. So Watergate, you know, that was on the front page of the Metro session in the Washington Post. This has so many complex financial that took place, so many individuals over in Russia and in the United States. It's going to take time to get to the bottom of it.
Could it just be the question? So here's the thing. When I hear people defending the administration, and they have every right to defend the administration, it's the same people who, when you heard about Hillary Clinton's server, most Democrats said it was wrong, she should not have had that server, but they didn't think there was any there with the server. No one will ever question this president's judgment to have people like Michael Flynn around him to hire him in the first place. No one, why does no one question that?
It should be questioned. Also, why was the second person he named as a senior foreign policy advisor, when asked by the Washington Post, was Carter Page, someone with deep ties to Russia, who also, by the way,
The president said he doesn't know who he is.
Yeah, it was the second person he named. I mean, you would think if you're running for president of the United States, your senior foreign policy advisor would be someone that you knew. I think he did know him, and now they're backing away for obvious reasons. It doesn't look good.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think that the White House changed course today and invited Democratic and Republican leaders in the Intel Committee to view the information?
They got their hand caught in the cookie jar.
You think so?
Yeah. That seems to make sense.
So what's next? Because everybody at home, I mean, do you even know what's next?
We're going to continue our investigation, whether it is one that is seen as independent, credible, and making progress or not. We can still review documents. We can still hear from witnesses. But I think the American people are counting on us to really find out what happened, whether U.S. persons were involved, and most importantly, Don, make reforms so that we're never in this mess again. So in 2021, the incoming president their legitimacy is not questioned.
Yeah. Thank you, Representative.
Yeah. Thanks, Tom. My pleasure.
When we come back, much more in our breaking news story. General Michael Flynn seeking immunity to testify in the investigation into Russia's interference in the